What's going on, guys? It's your boy Alton JK. I'm back and giving another video, and today we'll be discussing the do's and don'ts of home ownership. This is a quick list, quick thoughts of things that I've noticed as a result of my 1 year of being a homeowner. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Do number one: get a realtor. I believe that having someone show you several different options, going through the full process, will allow you to have a better understanding of your options, whether it be financing, locations, financing, whatever it might be. But definitely get you a realtor, even if it's a new construction. Still have a realtor that can want to advocate for you and really walk you through the process, because though they want to sell you the home, they also you're hiring them, so they're in the business to make you happy as well. Sometimes when you get a new build such as this, you usually only deal with one realtor, and they're just trying to get off their own hands and into your hands. So definitely get your own realtor. Alrighty. Another do. Make sure you have about, I would say, at least 5 figures saved up, following your closing costs, following furnishing your home, following all your initial setup fees, and all your initial startup fees, whatever it might be. Have about at least 5 figures saved up in your account. That way, and that's following a budget that's set aside for furnishing your new home. If you don't have that set up, it might be your savings a drop. So definitely do save up at least 5 figures for sure. Another do. Okay, this is kind of a pretty embarrassing story, but I did not turn on certain utilities until I bought the house. Like, I didn't turn on certain utilities, so I'm like, okay, oh, we're good. No, you're not good. So that's a whole experience. I could definitely tell you guys about that story time, but make sure you set up your utilities well in advance, probably a week or two before signing on that dotted line. That way everything is set and ready to go. The next do, I would say, wherever you buy a home at, make sure you're comfortable and you're familiar with the area. I grew up here, so it's not something that is new to me. I'm comfortable here. I'm in my own environment. When I go to sleep, I'm not worried. It's because I'm used to this. This is where I grew up, the area I grew up. So, if you go to a whole new area you're not comfortable with, you might be looking over your shoulder a little bit more. Even then, it's a new experience, so it's like a level of cautiousness I have, but being in an area that you're familiar with, that you grew up in potentially, or that you've already, you're well acquainted with, definitely provides some reassurance and lets you sleep better at night. And then do have a housewarming. Big shout out to my family, my mom, my lovely girlfriend, my amazing sister, my supportive father, and my supportive friends for supporting myself and coming to celebrate and congratulate myself on that accomplishment. And also my family. Don't want to forget my family. They definitely help with the furnishing of the home and making the house feel like a home, at least with the materials. So big shout out to them. So that's definitely some dues that I would definitely recommend anyone that's in the market have in the back of their head, have preparations for those things. All right. Now here's the thing, the don'ts. I would say don't have a HOA. I haven't had bad experiences with my HOA, but they do have influence, and you're pretty much paying someone to manage your, you know, your community. And rules are good, but say you want someone to be able to park on your street overnight, or you want someone to park outside by the road outside of your, home throughout the day. That's not something that's really supported. It's actually against policy, community guidelines. In addition to that, there are benefits to that. I will say, I get my grass cut without having to worry about cutting grass. The upkeep of the neighborhood, the shrubbery, etc. Like they maintain all that, so there is value in it. I will say, however, when you spend the money you spend on a home, to buy a home now, you're spending a certain type of money, and with that being said, you want to have complete control and not have anyone be able to say, "Hey, you can't change the cobblestone outside your fucking house." Sorry. I would say don't go into debt furnishing your home. So that's kind of going to back to one of my first points of dues. So don't go into debt trying to furnish your home or anything like that. So if you feel like you're gonna have to take out, if you get a credit card hypothetically, a rooms to go credit card hypothetically, or some trash retail credit card, it needs to be very intentional. It needs to be planned, not as a result, not out of necessity, out of benefit. Like you're trying to build credit, but if you're able to buy a house, you're not really in need for building credit. So it's kind of counterintuitive. Now if they provide like a 20% off if you have a credit card, all right, that might be worth it, But like even then, teach them. Another don't. I would say know your needs and know your desires. Like I definitely appreciate the fact that I have a newer home. However, I think my decision wasn't completely considerate of my full life. Like I have a dog. I live in a townhome community, and with that being said, I can walk my dog, but I can't just let him outside in the backyard like I did at my parents' house. And he could just roam freely. He doesn't have that luxury. He doesn't have that freedom. He's stuck inside of a smaller home now, and not even able to go outside unless I walk him. Who's gonna walk a dog after I'm not doing that. I'm go pee, go poop, and then you get in a 50-foot walk and let's go inside. I hate to be that. Maybe that makes me a bad owner, but just the reality. So definitely be considerate of your lifestyle and all the parties that will be affected by your decision prior to buying a home. Don't let people scare you out of buying a home. Yeah, things can happen. Bad things, flood, fire, pipe bursting, and it will all fall on you. Yeah, and that will be sucky. However, it's still a positive. So don't let people, make you feel, discourage you from buying a home. Because at the end of the day, it's your decision. And at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to have to pay that monthly, mortgage. So if that's something you really want to, that's been a dream of yours, something you want to experience, do it. And if things go great, awesome. If things don't, learn a lesson. So just don't, automatically assume that my cousin said, you gotta worry when something breaks all on you, it's probably not even worth it. Listen to some, content creators, they'll say, oh yeah, I don't want to have that headache, or I'm able to save the rest that I don't spend, that I save on the amount of money I would be spending on rent is less than mortgage, all inclusive. So I'm saving money wherever, and I'm able to invest it wherever it might be. That's good for them. But don't get discouraged. Go about it at your own pace. And lastly, what's another don't? Don't take for granted the journey. Like, in multiple aspects, I feel like, it's like you rush. It's like you can't wait. It's like, it's something I've always had in my mind. Like, I want to buy a home, but the journey to buying a home, the time it took, the change my mental, my change mentally as as an individual, my way of going about problem solving and figuring out certain things that weren't necessarily given to me on a silver platter. Definitely privileged, but don't take it for granted. Don't take for granted the journey to the end destination, because it's definitely rewarding. And when you look back after one completing it, and then as I look back after a year of owning a home, I could just say I'm nothing short of blessed. I'm highly appreciative for all the favor that has been in my life, and I just can't thank God enough. So don't take for granted the journey, man. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant. It just means yapping, and happy that I've been blessed to be in this home for 1 year. So big shout out to God and all those in my life, my loved ones, my family. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.